from 1985 is Pale Rider, another Eastwood 4K, another one that blew my socks off when I stuck on to watch it, particularly a lot of the shots of the mountain at the start of this one, filmed in Idaho. It has this great setup, this very wonderful vista that is just there present in the back of this panhandling community that just looks utterly gorgeous every time to go to it, especially in that 4K. Now, I've always been a fan of Pale Rider because it reminds me very much of High Plains Drifter. It's not as overt as that story, but I feel it dabbles in the very same playground. We have, again, a man with no name, almost preacher, who strides into this feud. We have a group of people who have a stake in land. They are searching for gold, but of course there is someone who wants their land, someone who will do anything to get it off them. That's harassing them, beating them, causing them all kinds of problems, and just generally trying to torment them off this stake so that he can take over and get all their money. And even though this is getting to the sort of worst part of this for the guys, it's make or break for a lot of the people, they find solace in the fact that they have an ally in the form of Preacher, who comes into the aid of Michael Moriarty's Hull Barrett character at the start of this one, in a sequence where wielding a club takes out several assailants, and a great introduction to this character. This is Clint Eastwood's 12th directorial feature, and he knows exactly what he's doing. He's also a man who understands his screen persona. He knows what he's delivering and what people expect and want, and by this point he could do it with his eyes closed, but he does seem engaged in the material, and when he does these action set pieces, they come off expertly well. And it's the kind of group of people who you grow to love. The people who are looking for gold are wonderful. It's a little community. They're kind of a little bit nervous and anxious because of all the pressure that's been put on them. And this preacher that's come into their midst is a man that just seems to galvanise everyone here. I guess what a preacher is supposed to do, who brings everybody together, gets them working together for a greater good, and with them all kind of taking care of each other, looking out and working together, their fortunes take a turn. They start to discover some of that elusive substance that they've been chasing after.
Only by standing together you're going to be able to beat the LaHoods of the world. No matter what happens tomorrow, don't you forget that.
I love Pale Rider because of the wonderful cast. As soon as Michael Moriarty turns up, I'm sold. He's a great actor and probably didn't get as many roles as he deserved, but he's always terrific in whatever he appears in. Carrie Snodgrass, there's a young Chris Penn there, Billy Drago, Richard Keel turns up as well. Just every time an actor appears, it's always someone wonderful who adds a lot to this. Now, to get to my point where I said it's a bit like High Plains Drifter, I love to think of the idea as Preacher as a ghost, someone that's come back from the dead. He has a history, but we never get to learn about it. We see that he's got several gunshots in his back, and it's tied to someone who's mentioned that will come into the film later on. But there is this nature with Preacher where he kind of floats in and out the movie. At one point he disappears and leaves, and then when someone is in need, he appears. He's there at that moment. And it just seems strange that this character would be wandering around for that amount of time, particularly where he ends up. But it feels as if he's there for revenge, to settle old scores before moving on. And that just, I love the idea of that. It just kind of captivates my mind and takes me back to that High Plains Drifter, which I love that story. But like I said, it's a little bit more overt here. It's a little bit more subdued. It's a little bit hidden within the subtext of the film and adds a lot more to it. Wonderfully violent, which I really appreciate. This is a world where when the gunfights land, people are going to be hurt severely. People are going to get shot in the forehead a lot, and it's a wonderful effect, and it's used quite a few times in the movie, and every time it hits with a real impact. I really like Pale Rider because it's one of those films that has a lot of tropes within the story. Things that you've seen before in other movies. It is comfortable within that nature, but what it does is it creates a wonderful cast of characters, and it creates a group of people that you want to survive. You like the enigma that is Preacher. You hate all the bad guys because they're all horrible, that you want to see be defeated. But there's always that little hint that maybe Preacher won't get out of this in one piece or alive, if he's even alive at that point.
Couldn't be. The man I'm thinking about is dead.
It builds it up really nicely. And like I said, even though it has these certain tropes, it builds upon them. It uses them as building blocks to tell a really good story that I really enjoy. Like I said, there is some terrific photography in this, and I really believe that it comes out terrifically well in the 4K. Like I said, those mountains in Idaho at the start, when you see the little community and they're just framed in the background, it's gorgeous. I would love to know your thoughts on Pale Rider. I know this isn't one of Clint Eastwood's most highly acclaimed films, but my goodness, I could watch this and repeat. Terrific stuff. I'd love to know your thoughts on Pale Rider, so let me know in the comment box below whether you love it, hate it, or fall somewhere in the middle. As always, there's more content up here. You can see more of my stuff. In the description box below are links to Patreon, membership program, manvfilm.com. Always in which you can support me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.